Yes, sir. Thank you. Yep. Yes, sir. Come on. Hey, Willie Moore Jr.'s on you. Come on, I ain't been outside in a minute. Come on. Hey, just in case you did it. Yeah. It's the Willie Moore Jr. show. Where we keep it 100 flat out. Yeah, let's do it. Stop it real quick. Stillwell 2021. Make some noise for yourself. Let's do it. Yeah. Listen, I want to tell you, number one, I'm so honored to be here with you guys. Thank you for allowing me to come. And I'm just like literally so appreciative. Let me tell you why I'm so appreciative. Because I have an 18-year-old. And Saturday, I'm going to be in Memphis, Tennessee. And he's about to graduate. So my oldest son is about to graduate. So I'm super 2021. Right? So let me just say this real quick. Mama, daddy, real quick. Y'all chill out for just a minute. Can y'all make some noise for my seniors real quick? Just make some noise for your baby. Come on, you can do better than that. Come on, let's show some love. I want you to feel this love. Like, don't look down, look and feel it, right? Like, really feel this moment. Like, it's a big moment for you. It's a big moment for you. We celebrate you. We honor you. We appreciate you. Yeah. Feel that. Yeah, that's good. See, I like the way you did it. You're like, yeah, let me have all that. He was like, yeah, let me have all that. Let me just have all that. And the reason why I want you to feel this celebration is because everything that was designed and known to man tried to stop this moment in time for you. But you persevered, you were resilient. And this is what life gave you early, but this is how life can be. Like there's always going to be something that attempts to stop you. But what I seen you do is you kept going even in the midst of a pandemic. In the midst of you having to do online classes, in the midst of you not being able to congregate with your friends, you found a way to connect with them. So for that, I celebrate you and I appreciate you. Yeah, I do. Now to mama, daddy, grandmama, grandfather, auntie, uncle, a cousin, a friend in the neighborhood who helped out with these children to make sure that they can be sitting here today. All my class of 2021, I want you to show some love to them because they worked hard. They worked really, really hard. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Indeed. Yeah, for every practice, for every uniform, for every picture you had to pay for. Right? We appreciate you. You know, the truth is, I remember, honestly, I had to reflect on this because my son, he's class of 2021. And so I literally had to reflect on what my life was like back in 1997 in St. Louis, Missouri when I graduated, right? Yeah. So I'm in St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm about to graduate, and I can just remember like trying on all of my little clothes, like, bro, what you gonna wear? You know what I mean? Like, so what you gonna wear up on? Like, we were really talking about it, really getting it together. I remember walking into the school, and we were about to get ready, and my mama, she just kept touching me. I was like, Mama, my hair is cool. Like, and she was really trying to get me together because I think she understood that this was the last time that I would be in high school. And literally, she was trying to get together. Boy, you got lint on you, right? And she was really watching that. And my mama loved me so much because I was adopted and I had never met anybody in my biological family. My mother and father, they chose me. My parents were a lot older than most of the parents in my graduating class, but they were the mother and father to every son and every daughter who didn't have a mother and father. And so when I walked in, everybody just ran over to my mama and my daddy, and everybody knew I loved my mom and daddy. In fact, whenever I would go out and I had to speak, because I was speaking when I was in high school, I was like, yo, could you put my mom and dad close to the front? I draw strength from them. And so class of 2021, I want you to understand that the reason why I was able to become successful, and not trying to be impressive, but to impress a point upon you, is that I understood my why. I understood that I grew up in Berkeley, Missouri, where the median income was $17,000. Where there was a lot of hustlers, killers, and drug dealers, a lot of people doing a lot of things that I could have got involved in, but I understood I couldn't do that because I wasn't going to let my mama down. I wasn't going to let my daddy down. I told my mama when I was 7 years old, Mama, one day I'm going to retire you. Because my mama worked as a housekeeper and she cleaned up after people. My mama used to clean up after people in that hospital, clean up blood. One day I went to work with my mother and I seen how those doctors looked at her. And I seen one person just throw stuff on the floor expecting her to pick it up. And with tears in my eyes at 7 to 8 years old, I said, one day, Mama, you ain't never gonna have to do this. She's like, well, baby, it's okay. I just do what I have to do to keep the lights on and do whatever I have to do. I said, no, you picked the right one, baby. Yeah, one day you ain't gonna have to do this, mama. So I worked really, really hard. Although I came from the neighborhood where all those people were doing those different things, I realized that I needed a vehicle. And so sports became my vehicle. So I started to run track, right? Of course, I wanted to be a football player, but you can see I'm 5 foot nothing, 100 and nothing, and they was throwing me around every time, right? But I started to run track, right? And the first race that I got really good in was the 100-meter dash. And I ended up winning state championships. I won like 8 state championships in the 100, the 200, the 4x1, the 4x2. So literally my senior year, all these colleges were reaching out to recruit me, right? And so I ended up going to KU, Mizzou, Texas Tech, Tennessee, and the University of Mississippi on a recruit trip. Now listen, the recruit trip was everything. I mean everything. I can't even tell you what happened at the recruit trip in the church, praise the Lord, okay? Let's be honest with you. But it was so important for me to make my mom and dad proud because I had discovered my why. As I sat there in that library because it was signing day, the number 17 sprinter in the United States of America, all these beautiful hats are sitting at the table and I'm looking at these hats and it's lights, camera, action. Everybody is wondering what college I'm going to go to. I looked at that Tennessee hat, I looked at Mizzou, I looked at KU, and then I looked at the University of Mississippi. Ole Miss. Old Mississippi. Something on the inside of me said, Negro, surely you're not going to old Mississippi. But I remembered that my daddy, he grew up in a little town called Noxapater, Mississippi. And because of the color of his skin, he could never go to the University of Mississippi. So I slowly picked up that University of Mississippi hat, and I was going to put it on my head, but I had a curly box back then, and I didn't want to mess my hair up. But I picked it up and I said, I'll be signing with the University of Mississippi, and you could hear a pin drop. All of the air was taken out of the room, kind of like bingo. You ever been to a bingo game and somebody say bingo and everybody be like, oh! It was as if I had disappointed everybody. The reporters came up with their mics and their lights, their camera action. They said, why would you choose the University of Mississippi when you could go anywhere? I said, well, you know, I was adopted when I was 3 months old. And that man over there, Willie Moore Jr, he could not go to the University of Mississippi because of the color of his skin. So not only will I go to the University of Mississippi and get a degree from the University of Mississippi, I'll go for free. I looked at my dad, the Superman in my life, and he had tears in his eyes, and Daddy don't cry for nothing. You hear me? He an old ex-sharecropper, everything tough. And I said, Dad, I want to make you proud. He said, son, you've already made me proud just for being you. In class of 2021, I want that to speak to your heart. There's going to be a lot of things that happen in your life in the future, but I want to let you know that you have nothing else to prove. You've made us proud. We didn't know how you were going to make it through, but you made it through. We didn't know how you were going to persevere, but you persevered. Listen, when the statistics tell us that 66% of children who have parents who are incarcerated, they go to jail, you jumped over that hurdle and you made it through. When they told you what you couldn't do in the midst of a pandemic, you kept your grades up and you did what you were supposed to do. You are so special to not only to your family, but to the year of 2021. You are the first class that nobody will ever forget. Honestly, you are. You're the first class that nobody will ever forget. And so what does the future look like? You know, I'm going to be honest with you. All that cute stuff I told you about the University of Mississippi, I was just doing it to make my mama proud, but then I had to go to college. You know, all the fanfare leave after the graduation, they feed you and everybody give you the little money. Some people want to take some of the money, whatever they want to do. Like after the fanfare leaves, then I had to go to the University of Mississippi. And I remember the day that they dropped me off. And this is the part that I want to stick with you. Please listen very, very closely because I believe this part is going to change your life forever. I remember when they dropped me off at the University of Mississippi and all the lights, camera, action was gone. And my mama, they dropped me off, and I remember going to Kennard Hall, and I remember them dropping me off, and my mama, she was like, well, it's time to go. I was like, Lord Jesus, please don't go, right? I hugged my mama. She tried to kind of lean her head away so I wouldn't see the tears in her eyes. I hugged her. They got in that car, and I watched them go down that that street. It was a little hill, and I watched that black Cadillac with Vogue tires on it with the shiny wheels on it, and I watched it leave. And in that moment, I knew that I was on my own, that I was an adult. And I'm gonna be very honest with you, class of 2021, that for the first time I was afraid. And I was a pretty confident person, but I was nervous because I didn't know what was going to happen on the other side. I mean, I wanted to be successful. I wanted to do the right thing. But who am I to go to this prestigious college and win? I come from the hood. I ain't never been around this many white people in my life. Let's be honest with you. I was nervous. I remember looking at the car leave, and I said, I don't know what I'm gonna do. And with tears in my eyes, I made this decision, and I never want you to forget this decision, because this decision is a decision that you can make too. Even though I did not know what I was going to do, I made the decision to not do. I decided to just be. I would be the me that God called me to be, no matter what. So instead of doing, I decided to be. I said, you know what, God, what did you say about me? Because my mom had been praying for me for a very long time. She had been screaming scriptures and praying and hollering, and I'm trying to listen to Tupac. She in there doing worship all the time. But I didn't know that the prayer of the righteous was availeth much. I did not know that when she was saying that you are more than a conqueror, I didn't have to conquer. Food was in the refrigerator already, but she knew that one day I would be out of her care. And so instead of me trying to do, I decided to be the me that God made me to be. And that's what I challenge you to do in your life. Because guess what? You're going to fail. But you got to remember that failure is not a person. Failure is just an incident. That's just something that happens in your life. And when you get to a point in your life when you say, well, I remember Willie Moore Jr., because he told me that one day I would have these words in my heart, in my mind, and in my spirit. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Don't do, be. Be the me that God called me to be. You'll be the you that God called you to do. And honestly, this is the hardest part, because the world gonna give you a whole lot of everything. I walk in my son's room, I heard Pooh Shiesty. I know what's happening. But I always tell them, listen, I don't mind that, but I want you to be the you that God called you to be. Because you're gonna fall off the path 2, 3, 4, 5 infinite times. But I want you to always be the me that God called you to be. Be the me that me. Literally, I want you to lock those words in your mind. Because it's a lot of things that's gonna pull you off, but you were made to be successful. So when you get to college and people start talking because you so smart, they don't know what's going on with you at home. People didn't know why I wasn't going to every party. I come from the neighborhood. I can't play around with this. My mama depending on me. People don't know what it was like to go to the refrigerator and ain't no food in it. People don't know what it's like when there wasn't a lot of support for you and your different academic stuff because mama had to work 2 jobs. Don't forget your story. Don't go out there and play around and squander an opportunity, whether it's college, military, or the workforce. You go and work at a high level because you were called to it. And when you veer off the path, do like I did. I fell off a million times, but I always chose to be the me that God called me to be. If he said I'm more than a conqueror, then why aren't I conquering? Why I'm not conquering? If he said I'm the head and not the tail, why I'm not winning? If he says I'm above and not beneath, why am I not above? This is the you that God called you to be, and if you vibrating any lower, it's time to get back to where God has called you to be. I'm so proud of you, class of 2021. You go out there and win and make us proud. No pressure. I'll be honest, you're going to make mistakes, but mistakes are not who you are. Mistakes are some of the things that you've done. But always just go back to what I did. God, allow me to be the me that you called me to be. I'm tired of twiddling my thumbs, running around with people who may be fake and don't even understand who and what I'm called to do. But I'm going to be who God called me to be. Last story, and I'm out of your hair. Today, people get an opportunity to see me help other children all across the world. I found my passion in adoption. I'm encouraging you, 2021, class of 2021. It's a lot of people who are going to make you make money moves. Everybody got to get to the bag. But if somebody would have told me when I was 18 years old, 19 years old, that my purpose and my passion could yield the type of dividend that the Lord's allowed me to see, I'd have went after passion a lot earlier in my life. Somebody may tell you that you may want to be a teacher, but they'll tell you, well, you know, you can't be a teacher because they only make this much. Guess what? If you go do what you're called to do, God will make a way to make you sufficient in every area of your life, right? To all of my musicians and all of my people who are in the arts, because this is a school of art, I want you to understand that art is beautiful, but you got to learn that business. So you take your time with your art and understand that your gift will make room for you. So you ain't got to finagle no doors to get in them. Your gift will make room for you. You refine that gift. You push that gift. You work at a high level with that gift. I was not even qualified to be on anybody's radio or stage, but I worked that gift and I worked that gift. And for the first time in my life 6 years ago, because I always work independently, they gave me a job worth a lot of money, right? And guess what? I don't have the degrees that people have. I don't have all of the background that people have. But I chose to be the me that God called me to be. And when you be that person, there's unlimited favor in that person. So you go out there and you chase your purpose and you work harder than everybody else. And you be the you that God has called you to be. I'm Willie Moore Jr., Willie Moore Sr. and Flora Moore's only boy, saying thank you, class of 2021, for allowing me to pour into your life. But always be the you that God called you to be. Haters gonna talk about it. Some may even make fun of it. But let them laugh right now. Later on, they'll call you boss, manager, CEO, even supervisor. I'm proud of you, flat out. Yep. God bless you.